with us, we have a life coach, a motivational speaker, one of the very best. And here is Emo Oladapo. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So, on to our first question. What's the best way to harmonize a perfect work-life balance?
As a life coach, usually having people who come to me specifically to gain clarity for life. And that need also is evident that there is some form of imbalance, with their work and their life. And sometimes it gets blurry in the middle that they don't know which is which. One has overwhelmed, the other. And one of the things we do first is for them to gain clarity about what they really want in life, a life's vision. A vision will help you to, put certain things in perspective, because work and life are both different values that you want to profit from. So there's work and there's value. However, the harmonization of both must be in line with your vision. If you have a vision, it is also very beneficial to know, which you must accrue to work, which you must accrue to value. So a life vision is one of the tools that people should have in order to gain that work-life balance like we always talk about.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Now, with values, how do values vary from person to person?
Yes.
Let's say there's a career woman who's married. Her values are quite different from a career woman who's single.
Absolutely.
And same for a man, So how do you, should I say, place it in place? Like for a woman who's married with a career and has children, she has to grasp with bringing up her children to inculcate those right values.
Yeah.
She also has to make sure she does her best at work, so she can, of course, gain her monetary profits and probably a name in her field. And for, let's say, someone who is a student, that person has to grasp with studies, his or her peers, and all that. So really, which one should come first? Do you say, should it be family first or my personal life first? Or should it be my work or my schooling or my academic pursuits? Which one is more important? Because most times that is where people have that conflict, so they need to resolve that issue.
Absolutely.
What should be put first?
What should be put first? Well, in this regard, I always say this. There is a mistake a lot of people make. We always prioritize preference over value. And there are two different things, yes. Okay. We always prioritize what we prefer, what we like, what we are, accustomed to at a particular time over the long-term value. What people should be doing is to ask themselves, what will this value accrue to me in the next 3-4 years? I may prefer it now, but it may not be the value that, will add to me in the next 3-4 years. So you see a married woman, or, in the case that you've given, one is married, one is single. Because I've learned something, so many things are important. Almost everything is important. It's priority. So it's priority over preference. Priority over preference. So you must understand which should be priority right now according to value. So for example, let me use a student. What should be of value to you right now is your education. Every other thing you're doing outside is good, but it's not as important as education because of the value you're going to get
on that education
in the long run. So if we are more driven by value, we would find out that we are, of course, in our topic, getting work-life balance, because the reason for the imbalance is that somewhere along the line we have gone out of value, we have lost our focus on what is important, and we are doing other things that are also important but are not supposed to be prioritized as what is value to us.
Wow.
Let me take you back.
Yes.
Great.
Those days, women were supposed to be at home while the man will go for hunting. Today is no longer like that.
It's no longer like that.
A woman takes care of the home,
yes,
takes care of the children, and has to go to work too. And in most cases, they go to work. For instance, those living in Lagos.
Yeah.
You work on the island, and you live in somewhere down Yanapaja.
Yeah.
You have to leave your house 4 o'clock to meet up because of the stress on the way.
Yeah.
Now, what time will you come back home? It will be around 10.
Yes, very good.
How do you balance that situation? Which one is the first to look for? Taking care of the children, your work, and then the stress on the way. Which one is important to take so that you can have a balance of this work life?
Yes, I must tell you also that for every phase of your life, your values will change. What you will prioritize will be different in different phases of your life. So for example, as a young man, there are things I will prioritize as value. Now I'm a married man, those things are not as valuable as what I am now in this phase. What people should understand that as you grow and as you evolve, as a professional, as a family person, things will change. So if you get married to your husband, at the first 1 year, you and him were a couple without children, there are certain things that you will prioritize as value. Once children start coming, you have to go back to the drawing board and reprioritize value. And so listen, you know, when we were younger, when we didn't have kids, we used to spend money, you know, I mean, we would not even think about, you know, a meal to eat. We can go and buy shawarma, soya, but now they are kids. We must have a proper food roster. So value reprioritization. And so that's what people need to understand. Sometimes when we are stuck and we have this imbalance, you must ask yourself, what phase are you in life actually? You must understand that at this phase, there are certain things that you must let go, and there are certain things that must be focus for you. Okay, so for example, as a young person, we are not too keen on our health. But the moment you begin to reach age 40, I mean, your medical doctor begin to tell you, hey, prioritize your health. Go for medical checkup. Now, health becomes more valuable than other things. Not that other things are not important, but health now takes up a more serious role in your priority.
On that scale,
yeah. So priorities change, values change. We just need to know which phase of our lives we're in. For the woman who is a mother with her kids, I mean, there are some husbands who would tell their wives, you know what, for the next 2-3 years, don't work. What is he trying to tell us? He's trying to tell us, reprioritize your value just for this phase. When the kids grow to a certain age, you can reprioritize again and put career up again. All he has to do is, it is called life management skill. Life management just only means that you are able to maneuver different phases of your life and apply yourself so that you can get the best of each phase of your life. That's it.
Interesting. Now, we've talked about, you know, trying to put that balance in place, values and preferences and all that. So, Emma, what happens when an individual allows that conflict to happen? What are the possible outcomes? How is it going to end? Is it going to spill over to other people and like collateral damage and all that? So how will it play out if maybe I put my, should I say value over preference, you know, like not putting the best foot forward? What's going to happen?
Chaos. Ultimate chaos. As a life coach, one of the things we also do is to help people understand the 12 thematic areas of their lives. The different areas that make you as a whole person to help you live a full life. There's not just your career. There's not just your finance. There is your health. There's your well-being. There's your friendship. There's spirituality. There's home and family. There's recreation. There is spirituality. There's passion and energy. There's self-confidence. All this is make up a total being.
That is so much.
I'm telling you, so
finding it difficult.
ignorance of any of this area will lead to a collapse. So that means if I am going to focus on my career and build goals to achieve my goals in my career, I must not forget that my career goals will definitely impact my family. Because the more time I spend in the office, the less time I spend in my family. So I must have to schedule and say, listen, quantity time at work, quality time at home. As much as I'm spending time at home, I should not forget my finance. As much as I'm spending working on my finance, I should not forget to rest. Because if I don't rest, it will bounce back on my health. And once I bank up my health, I will not be able to make money. And my career will go down. If my career goes down, I will spend less time with my family. You can see all this things impact on a person. So what one needs to do is to ensure that every area is taken care of. They may not be given the the same level of priority in the value chain, but you must also have goals that you are achieving in this little area, one step at a time. If not, total chaos. You find people struggling in their lives. Most time, what are they struggling about? They are struggling with time. When you mismanage time, what happens is that you didn't just mismanage time in one area, you mismanage it in the whole area. So if you have not given quality time at work, you'll find that you are struggling to give time to your family because you want to make up the time you miss at work. And then there's a ripple effect on every other area. So it's to be total chaos. What a person needs to do is, if they can afford a life coach, they must be able to sit down and look at these 12 thematic areas of my life. Where is the chaos coming from? Where is the imbalance coming from? Where have I given or where have I neglected to the point that it has overwhelmed the other, and begin to put balance,
But the problem